Welcome back. This is the Intro Deep podcast, and today I'm excited to introduce to you Mr. Jermaine Jones. So Jermaine was actually referred to the show from our very first guest, Mr. Lockie Clancy. Both of those guys are absolute maniacs in the endurance space. As you'll find out soon, we're gonna delve a little bit deeper into something Jermaine's got cooking in the next couple of weeks or so. He's going to kick off a crazy endurance event. And we're going to really just dial into, why he's doing this event. And he had some pretty devastating stuff happen to him over a short period of time that we're going to jump into. And he's been through a lot of shit himself. So we're going to unpack that a little bit. So I just want to say first off, Jermaine, thank you very much for jumping on the show.
Yeah, thank you for, giving a platform to open up and, share my story. That's one thing a goal I've got for this year is just tell my backstory and hopefully inspire people. So
Yeah,
thank you.
absolutely love it, man. And so also have to give you a shout out for your incredible style, man. I had a look at your Instagram and you might be the most stylish guest we've had on the show. And I was telling our last guest, she was pretty incredible style wise, but you might actually just pip her at the post, mate.
I appreciate it. That probably connects to some of my backstory as well, but I'm sure we'll get into that.
We'll dig a little bit deeper on that, my friend. So let's start by telling the people, who is Jermaine Jones in your own words?
Yeah. It's a difficult one, but I guess I'm an endurance runner, cyclist, adventurer. I don't quite call myself an athlete, but I do enjoy taking on challenges and pushing myself and being consistent with my training and being consistent with, life as well, and taking negative energy and turn it into something positive as well. So it's a bit of a hard one to put a sentence or a name onto, but that's kind of a little bit of me and my values, I guess.
Okay. I love that. And so let's take a little rewind. When did you sort of fall in love with endurance and sport and athleticism?
Yeah, I mean, was terrible at sport in school, if I was honest. I was okay, but there was always people who were much better than me. Later on, after I finished school, I seen something on TV where it was basically this stat where most people, after they finish school, pretty much give up sport and exercise, and then get really out of shape. So I kind of made this goal of I'm going to try and push myself every year, whether it's a 5K run, 10K run, a marathon, every year, and try and push myself and have a little bit of a goal, a challenge. But then I guess the first multi-day endurance event actually happened when one of my good friends, James Ashworth, was killed in Afghanistan. And then, his friends and his family, we basically went on this cycle from Edinburgh to London in his memory. And I guess that was the first kind of endurance event where I knew that I could do this, but also taking something negative in my life and turn it into something positive by inspiring lots of people, raising money for a charity at the time, which was Help for Heroes, which helps veterans in the army. I kind of had that that turning point where I was able to do something with this negative energy.
Okay. That sounds really hard, man. I'm sorry you had to deal with that.
Yeah.
We did talk a little bit on the phone the other day, and you said you had some things all happen at once, right? You mentioned you had multiple deaths happen to you, and that was the first of them, I'd assume.
No, sadly not. No.
Okay.
So when I tell people who don't really know me or weren't around at the time, it's very, very hard to believe. It almost feels like I'm lying and saying it for attention. There's crazy things that have happened in my life. Essentially, I left school, stayed on at school, left school, and then I got a job as an electrician. It was very, very difficult to get a job as an electrician at the time. Apprenticeships were extremely difficult. You had 1,000 people applying for one job. Managed to finally get a job as an electrician, and I had a work colleague who was around the same age as me, and on the way to an Arctic Monkeys concert at the time, him and a couple other people in the car span off the road, and 3 people in the car ended up dying. And that was I was 18, 17, 18, something at the time. And that was my first experience of wow, multiple deaths. One of my other friends was in a coma, and everything just happened in that small space of time as well. I broke up with my girlfriend at the time as well. She was with this abusive boyfriend before me. And while she was with me, she was always saying that she was never going to get back with this guy. Broke up with me and ended up getting back with him. So that was like a emotional, very, very hard thing to swallow, because it was like somebody I trusted and then, you know, gave up me and went back with this abusive person.
Yeah.
And then I ended up losing that job as well. I got made redundant. So it was all these things happening. Looking back now, like I've had a lot of things that have all been compressed into a small period of time. But yeah, this has happened over, you know, a couple of month period.
Jesus, man.
And then, yeah, kind of that was like, yeah, definitely a time where I was thinking about, you know, taking my own life and where I can see myself moving forward and stuff like that in life. And yeah, I was really struggling at the start of my career, thinking to myself like, oh, can I be doing this for the next, you know, 40 years or something like that? So yeah, it was difficult.
Yeah. Okay. So mate, that's like, that sounds extreme for such a young man to be going through. Like, tell me what that was like. Like, obviously you had suicidal thoughts as well. Like, how did you get through that moment?
Yeah. There's always been, in the back of my head, there's always been this thing of thinking that there's definitely more out there. And I guess that's giving me that resilience to not give up and just keep pushing through. And, but honestly, I generally don't know. I don't know how I got through it. Like I can't, it's hard for me to give somebody advice who is going through those depressive thoughts, because it is definitely individual. For me, it was just that not giving up. Things are going to get better. There's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. At the time, I didn't know that other people were suffering from depression or anything like that. I was very, very isolated, nobody to talk to. My parents were always there, but they didn't have the tools as a young man to help me. So I don't take anything from them. Like, they were great parents, but it's a very hard thing for somebody going through so much at that period in their life, to give them advice or help. So yeah, it was just that kind of not giving up, that resilience to keep pushing forward, which I now push that into my training.
Mate, that's really tough as like a young man, like you said. So it sounds like you were internalizing a lot of your thoughts and negative emotions. You weren't really reaching out to other people for help.
Yeah. Like, if you had met me at the time, you probably would have thought that life was great, which I've noticed through a lot of people that go through depression. It's always that smiley face, but I was holding a lot inside. You know, I was struggling with money. I was, really trying to find myself in my career, just starting out. Like I said, it was very difficult, you know, finding a job. Relationship, like at the time, that girl was like, you know, the girl of my dreams. I thought she was like the one, and she had turned her back on me. So it was just that trust issues in relationships as well. And then, yeah, obviously losing quite a few friends at like a young, a period of time in my life where it was just tough. So yeah, when I think about it, it still chokes me up. So yeah.
Yeah, man, I can see, like, you know, just like you said, it seems like it's not even real. Like when you say all the shit that happened to you in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
What would you say like the number one lesson getting through all that stuff would be? They're all lessons learned. They're all tools that you can use throughout your life. They're all, these things have made me tougher. They've made me value life a lot more and value the people around my life. And the way I speak to people as well. Like I respect people a lot more. You know, as a young man, you know, you partying and doing all this stuff. But as I grow older and I've gone through all these things, I understand that like everyone's going through something. You know, they might be having a bad day, they might take it out on you, but respect people, treat people how you want to be treated, and you'll go a long way. Yeah. So it sounds like you build a lot of empathy, right? Like
yeah,
people are all around us are like battling battles that you don't know about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Someone might be a dickhead to you, cut you off in traffic, or
Yeah.
tell you to fuck off at this grocery store or something, but you've
Yeah.
got no idea what the fuck's going on in their life, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And so what would your advice be to anyone who might be battling with mental health stuff, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not that easy to open up, but find people going through similar things. Like there's a lot of stuff online now. You can go into YouTube, there's podcasts, you know, people talking about, like, hopefully, you know, people will listen to this today. There's a lot of people struggling, and you can connect with those people as well. Like I've listened to podcasts and seen things on YouTube before where I've found people who are going through a similar thing, and I've reached out to them on Instagram and been like, hey, like, I'd love to, like, you know, jump on a call and talk to you. You know, you might be thousands of kilometers, miles across the world, but it's nice to, you know, connect and talk to people that way. And you know, I've had people reach out to me through Instagram, see things I've been doing and talk to me, and we jump on a call and stuff like that. And I love that. There's a reason why I've got through this stuff. And it's to share my story and make a change for the people that I've lost as well through depression. So,
Yeah, that's awesome, mate. And that sort of speaks to, like, you know, we are like a global tribe now, and technology, well, it can be fucked, as in, like, you know, wasting a lot of time, doom scrolling and that sort of stuff. It can make you, like you said, you can jump on a FaceTime or whatever with someone thousands of kilometers away on the other side of the world and have a yarn about that sort of stuff and really open up. So tell us, what do you love most about this endurance stuff? Do you have a particular, like, do you love running? Do you love cycling? Is it all of the above?
Definitely all of the above. Like I do like I don't necessarily love the actual event. It's more the training towards that. I like you know, I run before work. I work in construction, so I run 4:30, 5 a.m. in the morning, and it feels like I've already kind of won the day. It's the roads are like quiet. I get my training session in. I've started my day right, and that sets me up for the whole day. It influences my life, the food, my sleep, the people that I meet. There's always this positive attitude, and the way I hold myself and the way I kind of communicate. It's all a part of this endurance stuff. So I just love it. I love setting myself a goal, the training leading up to it. I don't really like the challenge, if I'm honest, but I love I'm really in love with the training and being able to be consistent and everything leading up to it. That's what I love.
That's funny, man. It's kind of like plays to that old saying of, like, it's about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the opposite. A lot of people, like me personally, I've done like some endurance events. Nothing is crazy what you're doing, but like, I love the event days. I love the race days. I love like everything culminating to that one day, and the training is a bit more of like a grind. You know what I mean?
I love the training, which is my coach, Sean Bell. He'll probably be, he loves that. I kind of stick to the training plans and don't miss a day. And
Okay, so you're pretty dedicated then, obviously, it sounds. Yeah, I love that, man. So let's delve a little bit deeper into what you're actually looking to achieve, mate. So 34 marathons, 34 days, is that right?
That's it, yeah.
Okay, why 34?
A lot of people keep asking me this. So there's no real particular number for the 34. Essentially, my original plan was to run in a marathon in every local government, which is like Waverley, Blue Mountains,
Northern Beaches.
That was the original plan. But just the logistics side of it, doing marathons where I have a full-time job and then trying to get to somewhere like the Blue Mountains and stuff, is just not going to work out. So there's 33 of those, and that was the original plan.
Okay.
And then I had to kind of change that pretty early. To make it more local, and then I added on an extra marathon because I wanted to finish on a Saturday. So there's no particular reason for the 34. It was just I had this original idea. And
you're
sick. Up.
You're a sick fuck, man. You just added in an extra one for fun. And okay, so you really are fucking crazy. You're going to be working full time while you're doing this.
Yeah. So if anyone from work's watching this, so essentially I've got the first 2 weeks of the event as annual leave.
Okay, great.
And then I go back to work. So I'll be working and then running like a marathon at night after work.
Holy shit. Yeah. Why did you decide to front load your leave? I thought it'd be more clever to back load it. Like, you know, you want to be
Yeah.
on the
So
back end of that have you leave, you know what I mean?
yeah, speaking to my coach, Sean, and just past experience with doing like a multi-day, you usually get to a point, for me, it's around like a day 11-ish, where you kind of get this real significant pain build up. But if you can push through it, there's like this turning point where your body kind of adapts. The pain's still there, but it kind of moves around. You can manage it a little bit. So I'm using the first 2 weeks to essentially let my body get used to it and have the rest during the day. I can go home, eat, sleep. And then hopefully by the time I get to work, I've turned into more of a robot and I'm just being able to like, right, just turn over. I mean, that's the plan, but nothing ever goes to plan.
That's right, man. Everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face, right?
it,
Mike
yeah.
Tyson. I'm fascinated to know about this pain thing, man. So tell me, I guess, what's like the craziest ultra endurance thing you've done leading up to this, before this?
All right. So, yeah, if you're following me on Instagram, I think you obviously new to my Instagram. I only had this Instagram since December 2024. I actually cycled around Australia back in 2023 with a good friend of mine, Ben Swift. We cycled all the way around Australia in 50 days. That was just over 14,000 kilometers. Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah. So we were averaging about 280 kilometers a day. And that's the biggest event I've ever done. That was full on. Yeah.
That just fascinates me, man. So like, tell me, like, you guys are just like, Lockie did like a triple marathon in a day, and I tried to do, I was like, I'll do one, I'll polish up one. I couldn't even get to one. I got to like 34 Ks and I was like, I'm fucked. And so like, what is this, man? Do you guys just have like another gear that the average human doesn't have, you think? Or what, you think everyone's capable of this stuff if they put their mind to it? Or you think that you guys are just genetically gifted to?
No, I think I'm not special. Like, again, I've got a full-time job. I think anyone can.
And you're a fucking big dude as well, man.
Yeah,
When you go to my
exactly.
house, I was like, this guy.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
hell. Like, I use that as an excuse. I can't run too long distance. I'm too big a guy.
Yeah, I'm
this
like
guy's
90,
a fucking giant.
92 kilos, something like that. Yeah, I'm a heavy runner. I see people running 100 miles a week on their training stuff. I can't do that, man. I'm too heavy for my joints and stuff. No, I don't think it's anything different. I just think we get very comfortable. We do have like these air conditioned house, heating, and a nice car. We could go from work and come home and Uber Eats and stuff like that. We're very much in routine of just being like comfortable. But if you go back, thousands of years, we were running around, really chasing for our food and all sorts. There's always that little bit of endurance in everyone, I think. It's just whether or not you're willing to just go out and push yourself and do it. Especially with running kicking off and getting a lot more attention, a lot more people running. I'm starting to see more people pushing themselves to do marathons and things like that. And then maybe the ultras will be the next thing. But I think everybody's got it inside of them. It's whether or not they're willing to break out of that comfort zone and really push and go for it.
Okay. So tell me, with this cycling thing, what is going through your head? When your body is just screaming at you to fucking stop, are you just having a conversation? Like, tell me what that looks like for you.
Yeah, most of the cycle, I didn't have any headphones in. It was just on the open road in the middle of Australia. It gave me a lot of time to think about everything. Think about 2025, even though it was 2023. I did that. Think about how I want to share my story, how I want to make a difference for the mental health. It was just, I was on the road, cycling for 15 hours a day. So imagine how much time I have to just think about everything that's happened in life, relationship with my family, ex-girlfriends, friends that I've lost, everything like that, and why I've come to Australia from the UK. Really give me a chance to just think and I guess plan how I want to live my life moving forward as well. It's very rare that you get, I think it was 6-7 weeks off of work as well, where you can really kind of zone in and just think about obviously the cycling, but just think about life in general. We're very much like in this rat race of 9 to 5 and just trying to pay the bills, but we never have that time to just sit and actually just think about what is going on. We just there's too many stimulants. So that was a good time to really plan and work out what I want to do with my life. And hopefully this year now it's kind of showing that I want to open up and make a change and work with the right charities and come onto a podcast like this and open up a little bit more.
Okay. Tell me more about that. Like, so what's your vision for you personally and how you want to help in this space? Like, obviously raising awareness for ultra endurance events. Is there anything else you're trying to achieve?
Yeah. So I kind of nicknamed this my all or nothing year. I wanted to, give everything I can for this year, moving forward. So my big goal is, obviously to help adults, help people my age and stuff like that, but really to zone in on youth mental health, give children and their parents the tools to, I guess, navigate some of the hardship and things that come up in life. I didn't have that as a kid, and that's why I want to make this change moving forward, whether that is me going to schools and doing talks, working with the charity Black Dog, who are doing a lot of research for youth mental health and ways that they can improve and educate children more about mental health. That's really my goal this year of and moving forward to my zoning on youth mental health and trying to make that change. Because honestly, growing up, you've got so many things going on. Obviously you're a parent yourself, so you're probably going to be moving into this spirit where it's there's bullying, there's trying to fit in, there's being left out of certain sports. There's all these different things that make up a children's life where they don't really know what's going on. And I'm hoping that I can make a difference with that, or work with the right people and raise money for the right people who know better than me.
Yeah, man, it's crazy you say that. Like it is like, and being a parent, it's really eye opening. Like, I sent my little 5-year-old to kindergarten. She started this year.
Yeah.
Everything's going well. She's got friends, and then one day she comes home. She's like, "Oh, none of the girls want to play with me."
Yeah.
They said they can't. And I, like, as a parent, I'm like, "What do I fucking do?" And I'm like, I'm studying a master's of counseling and psychotherapy, so I know a lot. But I'm like, what do I say to this little 5-year-old you know?
Because their brains haven't developed. They're thrown into this scenario where it might be a phase.
Yeah, they're learning as they go, right?
Yeah.
But it's funny. Then the next day, she's like, "Oh, we're best friends again."
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's just and I take it to heart more than she does. You know what I mean? I'm sitting there stewing on it all day, and she's present moment. You know what I mean? They say between the age of 5 and 7, they can't really process that type of stuff. They don't really take it on board as adults do. But I'm sitting there the whole week just going, "Oh my God, how do I fix this?" Tell me, brother. So you went through some relationship stuff back in the day. How are you able to heal through that? I'd imagine having something traumatizing like that from a relationship standpoint would be hard to, I guess, maybe trust again.
Yeah.
Were you able to delve into relationships quickly after that, or did you?
No, because it was just difficult because the guy that she got back with, obviously I said he was very abusive, but there was some racist stuff going on at the time as well, from him and his friends to me as well. Which, I was kind of trying to deal with that. Obviously, I guess losing her to him as well. My friends going, leaving, and having the financial struggles as well, losing my job. It gave me, it took me a long time to get back into a relationship. So I, went overseas and did Europe and stuff like that, and tried to kind of find myself a little bit more. Left the town that I was in, so I still obviously lived there, but I could drive at the time, so I was heading down to London and sort of trying to make new friends and change my environment as well. And I feel like that's probably continued on to me. I ended up moving to Australia as well, so finding my feet and actually finding myself as well.
Okay, and so these days, what do you think are some important aspects of a healthy relationship? What do you look for?
Yeah, so just being able to talk openly about your feelings. My dad, stemming from my dad's a very masculine man.
Yeah.
Worked a hard job, also trained in karate as well. He was he's a very tough guy, and I kind of have a little bit of that as well. But there's also a little bit of my mum where it's kind of, I'm starting to open up as I get older because of the trauma that I've had in the past. I'm now starting to open up, and that's a part of my relationship. I can see when things aren't going right, and I'll talk about it, whether I've done something, mess something up, or she's messing up. We'll actually talk about everything, whether it's finances, relationships, how work struggles, depression, all that stuff. We try to talk a lot more. I will admit that the depression side of it is still very difficult. I'm in a good place now, touch wood. But years ago, we've been together a while, but years ago I did find it still difficult to open up about the mental health struggles and stuff like that. And she was learning a lot as well. But yeah, now I'm kind of in a good place where I feel like I'm comfortable talking about my feelings a little bit more and around guys as well, which is good. You know, now that I'm putting this stuff on social media, when I go for a run with like another guy, it's mostly guys anyway, they're actually opening up about their stories and stuff and their relationships as well. So kind of this nice ecosystem of like everyone's like open up to me, but also opening up in their relationships as well, which is nice. So.
Yeah, I think by modeling that, it encourages others to come forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you sound like you're doing a really great job of doing that, my man. So we talk about values on this podcast a little bit, man. Do you have any specific values you try to sort of embody in the way you live your life?
Yeah. Big thing is treat people how you want to be treated. You really don't know what people are going through. If I see somebody who's homeless on the street, I'm not, I'll actually like to speak to somebody and understand what they're going through and stuff like that. I'm not quick to judge somebody. It's the values are just live true to yourself. And I've had this turning point over the last couple of years where I'm trying to be true to myself. I went from working as a plumber up to COVID, and I wasn't happy being on the tools and being in the industry. And I could just continue that for the next however many years until retirement, not being happy, which a lot of people do. They move on with their careers and right up to retirement and they weren't really happy. And I made a transition into more of a office role, project management side instead. And that was very hard going from a tools environment to an office environment.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big values of being like true to myself and taking that risk of going backwards to then go forward, which I've had to do recently. So big thing is just being true to yourself and kind of like, not comparing yourself to others.
Man, I think that's really hard. And I think society really struggles with that. Yeah. I've spoken about this on my podcast. I really struggled with that as well. I went and got a degree that I had no interest in because I thought I had to go get a suit and tie job. Ended up working in advertising for a year and I actually fucking hated it and I was depressed and I just thought this is what you do. You go to uni, you get a suit and tie job. Yeah. And I always loved movement and sort of physical health and mental health. And finally I sort of quit that and went to become a personal trainer. I ended up opening a gym. But that was more my path. That was so much more me. So, but it took me a while to get there, you know what I mean? Yeah. So any advice to younger people listening is try to listen to your authentic self. And, no one was putting pressure on me. I didn't have parents who were putting pressure on me. None of my friends really gave a fuck. It was all from inside of myself. Yeah. It was all internal. This sort of false pressure to go and do something and be something that I wasn't doing, Yeah. So tell me, Jermaine, what sort of daily rituals or practices do you have that are sort of beneficial to your mental and physical health?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like starting the day with some sort of training. So either a run or going to the gym. That gets me kind of focused for the day. I'm not a coffee drinker or anything like that, so I don't need any kind of caffeine stimulants in the morning. But
why? It's funny. I'm not a coffee drinker either, but people look at me like I'm crazy. I can't do caffeine. It just shoots me up, and then I get like jittery, and then I feel like shit. So I don't get the like good buzz from it. I get a terrible buzz. So, but I do love the taste. I love like the smell of the taste.
I don't like the taste.
Oh, you don't like it?
No.
Fair,
I mean, back in the day when I used to be more like into like the weightlifting stuff, I was on having the Jack 3D.
Oh yeah, that stuff's like doing speed, right? Like,
it was like
that stuff would send me to hospital, man. I could hardly
so
handle
much caffeine in that, so maybe that gave me like But I guess my morning and my kind of daily ritual is definitely that. Yeah, starting the day right, whether it's raining outside or starting the day right, going out for the run and just setting myself up for the day. I just know that I've set myself up for the day. I get some good food into my body, and that kind of like gets me going for the whole day. And then being able to like, get home to my girlfriend and just like relax at night, knowing that, I had my training in the morning and I can actually like sit down at night and just kind of do whatever work it is or actually relax and stuff. So,
Okay. Yeah. I love that, man. And let's rewind a little bit. I did mention your style in the intro here, mate. You said we get into that. So like, tell me more about that. Seems like something you're passionate about. And did I see you doing some modeling for Lockheed's brand as well?
So the style thing is quite funny. So, I guess going back to like school and primary school, high school and stuff, I was only black kid in school. So my parents were originally from a place called Birmingham. They moved from Jamaica to Birmingham, and then they moved down to Northamptonshire. I was the only black kid in school, so I was obviously always like a bit of an outsider and stuff.
How did that feel, man? Was that tough?
Yeah, it was tough. Yeah, I've got an older brother as well. He probably had it tougher because he's 14 years older than me, so he was from like a very, very different era as well in the UK. Yeah, tough, like trying to fit in and find myself. Obviously, going through all this stuff as well. As I got older, like the environment I was in, I was already didn't fit in, and I was like, okay, trying to still find myself and stuff.
It's funny you say, because I moved here from the US when I was 10.
Oh yeah.
And like, obviously skin color is a huge thing, right? And I moved here and I felt like it was like, when I look back on it, I didn't realize at the time, it was quite traumatizing for me to come from America to here. And like, culture is very similar. I looked like everyone else as well, but I sounded different. And I was like, I developed an Australian accent within 3 months so I could fit in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my parents were like, you had an Australian accent in 3 months. Like I was going to people's houses and the parents were going, oh, so Jeff's Australian and you guys are American. And my parents were like, no, he just developed an accent in 3 months to kind of like become a chameleon. So like, I'd imagine that'd be very difficult.
Yeah. It was extremely difficult. And then I guess I kind of started to express myself with the clothing as well. So like always been into fashion, where my friends weren't into it as much, and I always kind of like dressed different. And like I think looking back, that was kind of me trying to find myself. I was going down to London and like going these different stores and trying to find different clothes and following these certain people. So it was kind of like me finding myself. And I guess that now stems into the running, where a lot of people are wearing like the polyester and stuff like that, whereas I just rep like vintage t-shirts and things that I like from my time and bands that I like and things like that. It's kind of like an individual thing where I'm trying to like be myself and show myself. So
man, I don't know how you do it, man, because I think I've seen you running in those like big baggy old school tees. Like I would just like I get really hot really easily, and like I need to keep that body temperature down. When you're doing, I mean, you're out there just going fuck it. Like
I mean, in summer it's different. Like everyone's running around shirtless and stuff like
that.
But during the winter it's keeping wrapped up.
Okay, yeah, nice. And so I've started asking guests. This sort of ties into the style a little bit about their tattoos, and I can see you've got one on your forearm.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're meaningful, meaningless. I just like to hear, because every tattoo has a story behind it. So like, do you have any other tattoos, and what do they mean to you?
Yeah, I think I've got maybe 7, 8. Okay. I mean, I guess the first one I've got is a compass. So I had that. That's the only tattoo that I've got from the UK. I pretty much had this tattoo to encourage myself to go traveling, like overseas. So got this tattoo maybe a couple of months before leaving the UK, flying to Asia. The bike that I've got here is from the Cycle Around Australia. It's a kind of a bike and brain and skull kind of combined, which is like a mental health thing. I've got some birds, which is basically flight, encouraging me again to travel. But there's also I don't know what they're called, the little sand timer things.
Oh yeah, it's sand timer.
Yeah, it's just basically like, to encourage to like, you've only got a limited amount of time to travel. I've got a xylophone from, again, a lot of people don't know this, for a long period of time I was DJing and running parties. And it's just kind of part of my life like that.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I've got so many that just mean like little chapters of my life. And I probably have something. Once I complete the 34, I'll probably get something to kind of in memory of that as well.
Man, I love that. I love to hear that. So let's now give some people some advice. What do you think we mentioned your daily rituals and habits, and obviously training is a huge thing for you, and being able to connect with your partner, being open, being honest. What's some advice you would give to someone who wanted to improve their mental health? Like what's something important that they can do each day? The most important thing, say.
Just understanding your feelings and patterns. There's certain patterns that I have, whether it is influenced by weather, week or day of the month, financial stresses. There might be certain patterns. Also, I guess being educated enough to like know and speak to other people, being open enough to speak to other people as well. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Difficult.
Yeah. Have you done any therapy yourself?
I haven't. No. A lot of people have said to me that I should.
Yeah.
I haven't got to that stage where, I haven't done
Well,
it
yeah,
yet.
everyone has their own sort of tools, right? And
Yeah.
like I don't think you should push any particular modality and say that this is a one size fits all for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Like you have your own way of dealing with things, and
Yeah.
you sound like a pretty emotionally in tune guy, and you've been through a lot. And
But I do wonder if I did dedicate to like therapy, if that would make a huge improvement. It's one of those things where I am like, thinking should I actually do it? It's just like I'm happy and I understand my feelings and understand what I've been through. But who knows? Like not every day is great. You know, something else could happen in my life and it could push me over the edge. So maybe it is something that I need to like dive into. And
it could surprise you, man. You never really know. But I guess if you feel like you're happy enough without it, then you know.
Yeah.
And that kind of ties into our next question. When was the last time you surprised yourself?
Last time I surprised myself. I mean, I surprised myself every day that, like today, for instance, I went out for
25K in the rain.
25K in the rain. And during it, I'm feeling like I want to give up, and I've managed to finish it. Like there's always these things that surprise me. Like April, for instance, on the lead up to the 34 marathons, I ran 21 half marathons, 21 days in like as a warm up, and I surprised myself with that. That I was able to still hold down the full-time job and show up every day and get the 21 kilometers done in consistent days. Massively surprised myself that my body was able to hold up. I was able to stay consistent with the training, eat right, and inspire people as well, which was like, I'm also surprised that people want to hear my story as well. Like I had somebody who, where is he from? Mexico City, messaged me on Instagram, and then we ended up having a phone call while I was at work, and he was saying, man, I found you through ChatGPT, and I'm doing 21 half marathons, 21 days because of you, and I was like, this is crazy.
Man, that's unreal. That must be such a great feeling.
So things like that like surprised me, that just like people were actually want to hear what I've gone through. And I really bottled everything up for a long time, but I am finding comfort in talking more about it, and it seems to be like people can connect to it as well, which is nice.
Yeah, like I said, you'll attract the right people towards you, right?
Yeah.
So what else do you like doing outside of like your health and fitness, man? Obviously huge into that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You love fashion, you love music.
Yeah.
What other stuff? Anything else?
So fashion, music, art. I don't want to get too deep, but the podcast is cool.
Man, that's what we're here for, brother. Come on. We're not beating around the bush.
A lot of so essentially I was DJing pretty much since I left school. Running parties, loved it. Like I was as passionate, as probably more passionate than the endurance stuff. Loved it. Like parties, meeting people, having that feeling when I hosted a party and looked at everybody enjoying themselves. Like I got like such a buzz from just like seeing 200, 300, 400 people like in a club, an event that I've put in, DJs that I've booked to play, and everyone's just enjoying themselves. But sadly, the 2019, start of 2020, I had 3 of my friends take their own lives. And one of them was a guy called Paul Strange. Paul Strange was like a legendary promoter in Sydney. He used to host Space Ibiza, New Year's Day. He was like the GOAT. He's been here from years back. He hosted a massive party down in Bondi. He's club events. He was like the guy in the scene. But I used to look up to him, and he had this beautiful place, apartment down in Bondi, looked over the beach. Everything looked good in his life. Like looked like he had money. Like he just looked like he was killing it. Always going on trips to Europe and stuff like that. And then out of nowhere, he took his own life. And for me, that was like one of the biggest ones that like hit me hard, because I was like, I'm on the same path as this guy. Like everything looks good. it looks like I've got all these people around me, all these friends around me, everybody's like that. But realistically, these people aren't my friends. They just want gigs. They just want free tickets. They just want to be around me. And that was like a massive turning point where like I found out that he taken his own life, and I just stopped DJing straight after that. Like I played one kind of, I guess, memorial gig after, and I just stopped. I haven't played since. And it's like, I would still go back and DJ, but I feel like just that environment and where I was in my life is probably not good for me. Just seeing how he was actually, it's funny because he was on the lead up, he was always pushing the mental health thing as well. And he was always saying about, looking after your mental health and stuff like that. And I didn't really put two and two together. And then now looking at me as well, I was doing the same thing leading up, but I wasn't talking about my own mental health. And that's him. He was doing the same thing. He was willing to help other people, but wasn't talking about his own mental health. Yeah. And then, obviously then he ended up taking his life. So it was a difficult thing for me.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. And you mentioned, living your authentic self. Yeah. And so like, it's funny because you seem like you love music and you love the music side of it. So are you kind of telling me like part of you really loved that sort of scene for the music and the authenticity, but then there was another part of that scene that was sort of fake and not real and maybe driven by ego and that sort of stuff? Yeah.
I mean, the music scene in Sydney is not as good as what it used to be. And it's definitely nothing compared to the UK. London and stuff, I think most people know that. Yeah. But it's difficult. Like running a party, everyone thinks you just put a ticket on Eventbrite or Resident Advisor and people will just come and buy your tickets. No, it's promoting, it's Instagram posts, it's going out trying to push tickets, it's networking, it's going out to clubs every weekend, it's talking to people, it's DJing, there's a lot more to it. And a lot of the parties in Sydney, which people don't know, you'll get to 2 days before and you may have only sold 10 tickets and you need to to break even, you need to sell 200 tickets. So you've got this financial stress on the lead up to it. And you don't even know when you open the doors if you're actually going to sell the tickets. And sometimes you don't. Yeah. So I kind of stepped away from that as well, that stress that I was putting on myself and my relationship. And then just obviously seeing what happened to Paul and learning from that and and pivoting away from it into a more healthy space. I do still listen to music and I love music, but I'm not necessarily in that environment. I haven't even been to any events as well, which is crazy because I used to love going to all those events and stuff. So
it's hard, man. It's in a hard scene as well. Like, and were you partying as well, if you don't mind me asking? Like,
I was partying. So
because it's hard to be like in that scene and not party. Right?
Yeah. So I was definitely partying and stuff like that, but I was always smart enough not to like get into the drugs and stuff like that. Like I more looked at it as like wanting to be a good DJ and wanting to be the best promoter as well. I was looking at like what works, and I was getting very geeky with like what type of speakers, how like who to book, what DJs are headlining, who's touring. I was trying to get more into that kind of thing because I wanted to like really establish myself as a promoter and maybe like go into like the festival routes and stuff. But it's just a bit of a toxic environment where there's always new waves of people coming up, which is great. Yeah. But new waves, new genders, clicky scene, clicky promoters. But it's a great chapter of my life. Like it was the best. I went around the world.
Yeah, I'm sure you learned a lot as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome, man. So tell me, I pre-warned you about this question. If you could sit down and have a drink with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be? I want to know what you're drinking and who it is.
It's a tough one. It's got to be a musician, I'd say. I'd love to sit down with like a 2-pack.
What happened to you, man?
A 2-pack or somebody from like the rock genre, like even like Ozzy Osbourne who's just passed. Like I'd love to sit down with someone like that and just be like, tell me about your life, like just what you did, and just open up. And what drink would I be having? I don't really drink anymore, but I think with those people it would have to be like a whiskey or something like that.
Yeah, whiskey neat, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. Tell me something that you couldn't live without.
Well, my girlfriend. She's probably going to watch this, so definitely my girlfriend.
We've had that one a few times, don't worry.
What I can live without. Does it have to be something physical? Or?
No, anything.
Okay. I couldn't live without my resilience.
Okay.
That's like the big one. Resilience through things that have happened in my life, work, being able to train, being able to do these events. Resilience is a big one for me. Like just being able to get it done and just be, I guess, a bit of an animal.
Yeah, love that, man.
Yeah.
And so tell me, an animal like you, like what sort of stuff do you consume, man? Like I know people want to get into the minds of people having this show. Like, do you listen to podcasts? Do you read books, like audio books? Like, what do you sort of do for that stuff? Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of Chris Wilkinson, Modern Wisdom. I listen to a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, he's good.
I just like the way he articulates himself and the guests that he has. Massively absorb a lot of that podcast. Used to be a bit of a Rogan fan back in the day. He's probably like the most well-known podcast, but his guests haven't been as good as what they used to be.
Yeah. Bit of waffling on that one as well, I reckon. Like,
I really like listening to like different scientists and books as well. Ross Edgley I'm a big fan of a guy called Ross Edgley who's a big endurance swimmer. Yeah.
Okay, my friend. We're just about out of time, so I'm mindful of that. So a couple more questions.
Yeah.
You were dealing with a lot as a young man, with all these deaths and loss of job, loss of a partner. What advice would you give to that 18-year-old version of yourself?
Just don't give up. You're not on your own. A lot of people are going through, their own hardship. You just need to persist and with forward motion, and you'll get through it. You'll never truly find your feet. I still haven't to this day.
Well, that's the same. Everyone's just out here figuring out life. Even the most famous person in the world who looks like they're killing it, everyone's just making it up. As
they go along.
Yeah.
So just don't give up. Keep the resilience, and everything that's going to happen through your life is for a reason. And don't let those deaths and the scenarios and things that happen go unnoticed.
Okay. And so tell the people, like, how can they build more resilience if they're feeling like, they look at someone like you doing 34 marathons in 34 days and like, fuck, I can barely run 2Ks. Like, how can someone start to build more resilience within themselves?
Yeah. I mean, resilience in the endurance space is just the small wins, whether that is, starting to run or walk daily or something like that, or getting into a routine of like, okay, I don't have the healthiest diet, but maybe this meal, this part of the day, I'm going to make this one healthy. The other ones aren't going to be, but making those small changes moving forward. I build up resilience through various things where...
Just cycling around Australia?
Yeah. I mean, I guess like staying in the sauna a little bit more, ice baths, those kind of cliche stuff.
I love that. Have you heard the saying, like, just go one more? Like, when you say you're going to do 5Ks, you just do 6. And when you say you're going to make 10 sales calls, you make 11.
I mean, I have got a thing when I go for my run. If you look on my Strava, if I've got to go and do a 10K run, I'll do like a 10.1. One, because of Strava tax. 2, because I just like to do like that extra 100 meters.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that adds up through the week.
And just little things like that builds up. Like if you say I'm going to do, 4,000 steps a day and you do 4,200, every time you do that, you're telling yourself, I can do more than I'm capable of, right? So it's mentally really empowering to just do a little bit more than what you thought you initially set out to do. Yeah,
just small wins, like taking the stairs rather than the elevator, or carrying the shopping for that little bit much longer. Like there's always these little things where I'm like trying to like win throughout the day.
Yeah.
And then the environment as well, the people that you're around. I had to make a big change of like the friends and stuff that I had before, and people that are kind of pushing themselves and want to be resilient and get the best out of life as well. So I changed my environment, and that kind of inspires me as well.
Yeah, it's huge, man. And that's a hard one for people to sort of change. It's like changing your identity, like peeling yourself away from the people who might know you to be a certain way, and finding new people who accept you and the newer version of yourself, Okay, so we sort of mentioned advice as well. Is there any other amazing pieces of advice that you've been given over the years that have really stuck with you and hit home with you?
It's actually one recently from my dad. I don't know if you meant... My dad's he's not religious, but very spiritual. He's just wise and stuff like that. he said something to me recently where I was speaking to him on the phone. It's actually weird as well because my dad's actually started to say, I love you on the phone, which like I said, he's a very tough individual. And he started to say that as I've like left the UK.
That's beautiful. I like that.
But yeah, he said something about like, it's very like karate, go with the wind, like blow, like move with the wind, as in like navigate life. It has its ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster of like emotions, you know, ride the wave. He's very much like, yeah, just, you're going to have your good days, you're going to have your bad days, but just move with the wind and just understand that, yes, it's a bad day today, but then tomorrow is a good day, and just being able to kind of like stick it through. And he said that because, you know, going into a chapter where, you know, potentially going to have kids and stuff like that, creating a happy environment, and understanding that, you know, children kind of understand and see you have a negative day, bad day, and just being able to kind of move with the flow and navigate and being smart enough to kind of handle yourself and be a man as well moving forward.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's very martial arts. And
It is,
is it Bruce Lee who said like be like water? Like,
Yeah,
just go.
yeah. Well, my dad's got this kind of like, he had a bit of a karate kid upbringing, so
Wax on, wax off, baby.
yeah. So he came from Jamaica, pretty much on his own, and then he got like basically taken up by this like karate guy back. I don't know.
Oh, so he was like a real life story.
Yeah. And then he just got obsessed with karate and was like world champion and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
nice.
he was, so he kind of like he's still got that mentality.
Yeah, nice, man. And so you mentioned spirituality. As your dad's a spiritual person, how would you say your spirituality is? Like, are you a religious person? Are you a spiritual guy?
No, I mean, I'm not religious, but I definitely have some form of belief, and I feel like as I'm getting older, I'm trying to educate myself a little bit more. Like I do, I don't read it, but I listen to like chapters of the Bible and stuff like that. And I wouldn't say I'm religious, but I'm willing to be open enough to learn about religions, whether it's Christianity. I'm open to actually learning, and then have an educated conversation rather than be like, oh, your religion's it sucks or this that. Just trying to find myself that way and just Yeah,
there's no right or wrong religion, right? You just take each tool from each one and see what fits for you and your goals in your life, man.
I feel like everyone needs a purpose as well.
Yeah. Bigger than themselves, yeah.
Bigger than themselves, whether that is religion or your training or whatever. Like everyone needs like something to get them through life. Yeah. And that's why obviously people gravitate to that.
It's funny, I've heard about a study, and I need to research into this again, but I heard about a study they did on college athletes in the US, and I think the more successful ones all believed in either God or you know what I mean. They believed they were chosen. You know, there's NFL players like, you know, I'm here for God. Like, you know, they have this self belief because they believe there's a higher power pushing them to be where they want to be. So there was a correlation with those that were religious and the ones that were successful as well.
Yeah. Well, if you look at like even like acting, like the Oscars and stuff like that, they're all up on stage thanking their families, but they're always thanking God as well. They're always like there's something great in themselves for that success. So,
I think that's huge, man. All right, my man Jermaine, that was an amazing show. I hope the guests got as much out of it as I did having you here today. If people want to follow your journey, donate, see how you're going to fucking attack 34 marathons in 34 days while working a full-time job, where can we find you? So website is jermainejones.com.au, and then my Instagram, JermaineJones_J. You should be able to find everything and a little bit of backstory. Hopefully this podcast is on there as well. And August 25th, I take on this challenge, so I'll be putting some daily content as well. Let's fucking go. Where are you going to be finishing off, man? Where can we come and Centennial Park. Yeah, that's like the mecca of fitness in Sydney. Of course, man. Yeah, of course. Is there anything else you want to leave the people with before you go, man? No, just hopefully, you can take something from this. Always open to people reaching out if they want to, and getting a coffee and just talking a little bit more about life and stuff. Yeah. Unreal, man. Well, it was an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you. Guys, thank you for listening this far. If you got anything out of the show, share it, like it, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Peace.